Hello guys, my name is Zerx, and today we're going to be talking some more military history. Today we're going to be talking about the charge of the Light Brigade, which is actually, it wasn't even a battle, it was just a really short sequence of events. But it's really famous because of this poet Tennyson, who you might have heard of, but that part's not that important. Before I get into that, I just want to say sorry I didn't get to put up a video last week because I was super busy. I had 2 exams and a paper and all this shit. It was just really hectic. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are okay with that, and we'll get into the military history now. So this is what happened. As an overview, this is the charge of the Light Brigade, and so it was the Light Brigade of the British Cavalry, which was about 600 people, and that was against the Russian forces, which was about 20 battalions and 50 artillery units. So this, in terms of like who was commanding, was Lord Cardigan and Pavel Laprandi. And so let's get into it. All of this happened because of simple miscommunication. Lord Raglan, or the commander Raglan, wanted this cavalry unit to secure some weapons in this post, I guess you could say, kind of like a bunker, because Russians were going to take them away. Captain Nolan relayed this message to the Earl of Lucan, who relayed it to Cardigan, the guy who's in charge of the Light Brigade. At this point, I should mention that Lucan and Cardigan were brothers-in-law, and they really hated each other. They had so much enmity for each other, and that will actually come into play later. So here's the deal. There were actually 2 bunkers, and because of the ambiguity in the initial message from Lord Raglan, they ended up being instructed to go to the wrong one. And when I say they, I mean the Light Brigade. And the problem with that is that the wrong one was heavily fortified. As I said earlier, there were 20 battalions and 50 artillery, and as well, the path to that bunker was lined with Russian artillery and forces, and really it was just a death trap. And so now we'll see why this pathway is called the Valley of Death. Cardigan took his men in, and he began to charge. So Captain Nolan from before, the one who relayed the message to Lucan, who relayed the message to Cardigan, tried to run out in front of the charge to tell the charge to stop, to turn around, because he realized that this was the wrong way. And instead he got killed by an artillery shell before he could say anything or really jump in front and stop the whole charge. So this charge continues, and they're just getting shit on from both sides. You have artillery shells and gunfire coming from both flanks and in front, because these Russians are obviously like standing out in front of this target that Cardigan is going for, and they're just raining hell on all of them. So what happens? They run through. Obviously a ton of them get mowed down. As the few remaining progress through, they're now getting shot from behind too, because obviously you run through and the people who are just shooting you from the side can now start shooting you from behind, so you're getting shot from behind, the side, and the front. And so what's left of the charge finally makes it to the bunker. They actually make it to their destination. But the Russians, they retreat inside to these inner walls, and they start shooting out indiscriminately, just kind of in a fury, or a flurry, I should say. Just this really chaotic mess, and they're just shooting out indiscriminately, and it doesn't even matter if they're hitting Russians or if they're hitting British people. They're just trying to kill everyone who's trying to get in right now. And so actually, yeah, they likely did kill a few Russians who were slow going back. And eventually, obviously, the Light Brigade has to retreat. So, yeah, that was really short. But I guess it's good to know some important piece of history, because people have talked about this a lot, obviously, because of the Tennyson poem. And I guess the aftermath. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. During all of this, the Heavy Brigade under Lucan had done nothing. Even though they were supposed to follow the Light Brigade in and, you know, go and like take out that bunker, get it back. And so many people think that Lucan didn't go in because of what I said earlier, that he and Cardigan hated each other, so he just said, you know, well, whatever. Officially, I think he said that there's no point in like risking it, which makes sense too. If you saw a really, you know, like a lose-lose situation, there's no reason for you to send your dudes in there. And so that's a pretty valid reason. But a lot of people think it's really because he just hated the guy. Cardigan actually lived through it though, interestingly enough. What else? Well, now it's actually frequently cited as like the quintessential military miscommunication screw-up, as just like a really perfect example of what can happen if you're not really explicit or like any kind of miscommunication. But in this case, it was just an ambiguous order, and so people frequently cite it as such. If you like this, well, that's great. You can let me know. If you didn't, like I say, you can leave me some constructive criticism. If you want to see more psych or, you know, stuff with my my sweet mate Crouch again, Kevin Crouch. Yeah, just let me know. You know, I'm open to suggestions, obviously. So, yeah, that's all for me. Take care, guys. Bye.
Mission accomplished. Good work.